cut off sources of revenue that fund North Korea's efforts to develop...
Tensions between the US and North Korea have turned into a war of words between American President Donald Trump and the North's leader Kim Jong-un, as well as other North Korean officials. In one of his latest comments, Trump has once again threatened Pyongyang with military action. The US president said in a tweet in response to comments by the North Korean foreign minister at the UN, "Just heard Foreign Minister of North Korea speak at UN. If he echoes thoughts of Little Rocket Man, they won't be around for much longer." On Saturday, Ri Yong-ho called Trump a mentally deranged person, full of megalomania. The top North Korean diplomat also said an attack on the US mainland is, quote, inevitable.
It's happening at this time because the DPRK has significantly increased their missile and nuclear technology to the point where they now claim that they can strike the mainland United States. This policy of strategic patience, of trying to wait out and try to see if they could pressure the DPRK before the actual weapons are at full capacity, has expired. That now, with the full ability to strike within the United States, the U.S. knows that any kind of bullying tactic would result in an immediate response. Any kind of military invasion against the DPRK could have serious or retaliatory actions.
Russia and China have on several occasions during the past months tried to act as mediators between the US and North Korea. Moscow and Beijing have stopped their mediatory efforts for unknown reasons, but Russia and China have strongly opposed any military action against Pyongyang over its nuclear and missile programs, saying the crisis on the North Korean peninsula can only be resolved through dialogue. China has even warned that it won't allow any conflict to break out near its territory. Trump has repeatedly threatened North Korea with fire and fury and devastation, a language which has even been condemned by some US political elite as dangerous and warmongering.
Well, I think the situation right now definitely stands that the U.S. is not cooperating, and neither is the DPRK. The U.S. is continuing to carry out provocations against the DPRK, and the DPRK is continuing to develop the nuclear technology and the missile technology. Both sides really aren't listening. The DPRK have every right to defend themselves from any assault by the United States. And if the United States is not going to cooperate, then there seems little that China or Russia could actually do.
The question is whether the US is prepared to translate its threats against North Korea into real military action. There is little doubt that such a move would have unknown consequences for both East Asia and the US itself, as North Korea has shown it's capable of launching attacks on targets as far as the US mainland.
The United States has a history of indefinitely invading countries with very little reason or completely fabricated reason. Now, it's very possible that the United States could attempt something, but I sincerely doubt it would be a full-scale military invasion, because that would elicit an immediate and full response from the DPRK. It's more likely there may be some kind of smaller military operation carried out against the country, possibly a decapitation effort designed to assassinate the leader himself, Kim Jong-un. But it seems very unlikely that a full-scale war will break out between the two countries, given the tremendous ramifications of carrying out such an act.
Analysts believe that there are some reasonable voices within the administration of President Trump who will prevent him from making good on his threats against Pyongyang. But Trump, as commander-in-chief, calls the shots, and his powers cannot be underestimated when it comes to foreign policy. The US has been engaged in wars in the Middle East for the past 17 years, but a military showdown with North Korea will not look like any of those conventional wars, and it will have far-reaching ramifications for the entire world.